was a statement accredited to the former CBN governor where he talked about, make reference to cases of first-class graduates that are not employable. How do you react to this kind of statement, and how has it gone so bad? Now, I'll also want you to talk about the role of SMEs when it comes to job creation, because everything cannot be left for the government. That's your constituent. I also want you to talk about that.
From our own experience in engaging workers, we discovered that most of the graduates being shown out by the tertiary institution these days are unemployable. And that to that end, I would somehow agree with what the former CBN said. They are indeed, many of them, unemployable. You discover that even to write a good application letter is a challenge. You discover that when you employ them and you even try to train them, they do not perform well. Their productivity is low. And that's why you see most multinationals, when they employ our Nigerian counterparts, our Nigerian citizens, they go ahead to begin to train them for weeks and months before they are able to fit in. And that shouldn't have been the case. You also discover, too, that many of these other multinationals are bringing in expatriates from other countries, not because we do not have that skill here, but because we do not have people who are ready to practice that skill the way they should. And that's not too good for our economy. I think something needs to be done to rejig our educational system and our educational curriculum. Government needs to pay more particular attention to education. Today, you see secondary school leavers having 8, 9 credits in their WAHEC, and they cannot even speak good English because they were taught even in vernacular in their school. It is as bad as that. How can such people fit into the workforce and perform efficiently and effectively? That's the challenge we have in this part of the world. And I want government to see need to budget more and do more supervisory role in our educational system. We have a lot of private universities coming up that are doing far less than even some secondary schools. You see the list of unapproved universities that was released the other time, and you wonder how can over 500 unapproved universities be operating in our system, and we have to wait until years before we begin to say that they are unapproved. What kind of students or graduates do you expect them to shine out at the end of the exercise? So we have that a lot, and that's why you see we have MSMEs changing staff from time to time because they do not live up to our expectation. And we really want our youth to be employed because that's the only way we can bring down crime in the country. If we do not get them gainfully employed, crime will always be the order of the day. We will always continue to have banditry, terrorism, yahoo, japaism, and all of that. So it's important. For we, the MSMEs, like the statistics has shown, we employ 84% of the workforce. And that's to us a large number. 84% of the workforce employed by MSMEs are a large number. It means we are doing well. But we can always do better. We can do better if government supports us. We can also do better if we are able to become more innovative about the way we ourselves do our business. Because definitely we have challenges in the economy, particularly economic challenges, but it's not only alien to us, it is also global. We have other countries too having different challenges here and there when it comes to the economy. But ours should also be an opportunity for us to be able to discover better ways of doing things, better ways of doing business so that we can grow and be able to employ more. Now, MSMEs needs to begin to look inward and think out of the box to be able to grow their businesses. We in our own association are already doing that. We are building the capacity of our members to be able to think out of the box, to become more innovative in their marketing so that they can sell more innovative in accessing finance. If you cannot get finance from the regular bank because of the high interest rate and all of that, you can join cooperative at your association level and get cheaper funds to work with. You're also encouraging exports. When you do export of your products, you discover that you're able to earn more because Nigeria is now competitive in the global market because of our weak naira. And that makes you be able to earn more money. When you earn more money, your business will grow and you'll be able to employ more people. We also look at how to begin to engage with a sister organization so that we can collaborate together and work together, and that helps us to grow. And when we grow, we also definitely will employ more people. When I talk of working together, it means that if I want to produce peanuts, for example, today, and I do not have the wherewithal to buy all the machineries and equipment, I can't work with somebody who already has a factory that is producing peanuts. Give him the specification of peanut I want to have, give to him or her my brand name, and that person produces it for me, and it becomes my product. And I'm able also to engage other people to work with me in marketing the product that has been produced for me by a sister company on contract basis. And with that, I'll also be able to scale up and be able to employ more people. It is important for MSMEs to grow. It is important for us to be also supported by government. It's also important for us to support ourselves and think of how best we can expand our businesses so that we can employ more. The way to go for us in Nigeria is to make sure that we take our youths off the road and make them employed, because they are about half of our population, and that's a large number. To take our women from the homes and make them gainfully employed, to also make sure that we have provision for those who have disabilities so that everybody can be gainfully employed. That's the way to go. That's the only way we can grow our economy. And that's the way we can have peaceful sleep at night, all of us, if we want a peaceful Nigeria.
Now, I like the fact that you've been playing in Nigerian space for a long period, so you understand that the common approach to tackling poverty or unemployment in Nigeria has to be the use of empowerment. And sometimes politics come into these, whereby certain individuals are targeted as against the general populace or the general society. What do you think is largely wrong with the template as regards empowerment in Nigeria? What are the challenges, and how can it be done better to ensure that it's actually targeted towards tackling poverty rather than just giving political relief to some people?
Well, to start with, one of the major challenges is timing. For example, let's talk about the recent one, the one promised by the president, tagged presidential palliative for SMEs and bigger businesses. This pronouncement was made last year, precisely around October last year, and the money was some of the money were dished out April this year. You can imagine what inflation will have done to 50,000 or 100,000 last year if they have had it immediately to when having it in April or so. The next is the number of targeted businesses. If you want to do empowerment program and you do for 1,000 people or 500,000 people in a population of MSMEs of 40 million, it is less than 1%. So it will most likely than not have the expected effect that it should have. The next again is the volume of the funding of palliatives. If you're giving out 50,000 naira as palliative to business owners, you begin to wonder, what will 50,000 naira do in an economy that a bag of rice is about 80,000 naira? What would 50,000 naira really do? So the volume of funding is another thing. Corruption is also another factor. You discover that most often than not, it is political business owners that get this funding, rather than the right business owners, the targeted business owners. An example is the 100 billion naira fertilizer intervention done for farmers. You see farmers coming up and say they have not seen even ordinary bag, not to talk of bag with fertilizer, and you begin to wonder, where did this fertilizer go? You also need, another issue is the issue of transparency. When you give out intervention programs to business owners, you should be transparent about it. Transparency will also mean that you have a platform where people can go to and check and see who are these beneficiaries, so that they can be sure that actually the fund or other form of palliative that you have done actually did happen, and it went to some verifiable people that one can place hands on. Another issue is not working with the stakeholders. If you do not work, if I want to do palliative or intervention program for shoemakers, for example, and I don't engage shoemakers, how do I begin to do the right palliative? I may think that what they need is money. They may say that what they need is not money, but a better working environment. So it's important for government to engage with different stakeholders in whichever area or sector they want to do intervention program. Another issue that always go wrong with our intervention program or palliative is that there is no evaluation, post-evaluation of what is done. If I give out 50,000 naira to 1 million nano businesses this time, I should be able to come back in the next 6 months and evaluate what was done without 50,000 naira. Was it impactful? If it was impactful, it means it's a way to go next time. If it is not, it means it's not a way to go. How can we begin to go around it and make it better so that it can be impactful the next time we do it? Such evaluation is not being done in this part of the world. And then when it comes to SMEs, if you ask them, they are disenfranchised. They no longer have the trust in government. They don't believe in government, such that when funding or palliatives are done, from that initial, they believe it will not work. And some of them don't even bother to apply. And those who wish to apply, you discover that the process is also equilibrium. It's very, very difficult. If you want to target nano business owners, you want to give them 50,000 naira. It means that those nanos should be traders, artisans, and those at the lowest ebb of the ladder of the pyramid. You now begin to tell them to go through a process of filling form, that they have to submit their CAC documents, they have to submit their tax clearance documents and all of that. Those people in that sector, how many of them have their businesses registered? So already you have delisted them from that program. You now discover that it's those that don't need that money that will begin to apply, because those are the ones that have those documentation and requirements that are expected to access the funding. You also discover that government does not also work most times with private banking institutions that have some knowledge about the MSMEs. They route it through some other government institutions that do not already have better understanding of the MSME sector. And for that reason, it is not done the right way. And that's some of the challenges we have. And for us as business membership organizations, we continue to tell government that for you to get it right with your policies, with your intervention or palliatives, you must have a stronger handshake with us. We must sit down at the round table to talk about what we want, how we want it, when we want it. And that's the only way you can get it right. You also must work with us to be able to provide the real business owners that are in need of this funding, because we have the data that we work with. And at the same time, too, you must engage us to be able to do monitoring and evaluation of those funding, particularly when those funding, some of them have to be repaid. We should be able to work with you to ensure that those funding are used for the right purpose and are repaid as at when due. These are some of the things that we do in our association and also in other business membership organizations.